I'm Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
And this is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Join us today as we take you through a few great stops we've had staying down in South Texas on the western part of, as they call it here, the RGV, the Rio Grande Valley.
Come along.
Now we're going to start things off today at the Bentsen-Rio Grande Valley State Park. And this is over in Mission, Texas. And just like every park you come to, it seems like in this area, this is a birding park.
Yes, it is. And the reason is they are touted as a birding capital of the world.
This one is actually listed on their sign as a World Birding Center. So you're going to see some species in this park that you may not find everywhere else. They do have trams available that go through the park several times a day. We just chose to walk it. When you leave the visitor center, you go across an irrigation canal. You'll actually see the wall. You're that close to the border. And between that wall and the border itself is where this park is situated. So you can no longer drive through it because of security issues, but it is either available by tram or it's a very easy walk. In the center, as you go in, the La Familia Nature Center, they give you ideas of some of the different animals that are actually there. Some of these little skeletons.
I know.
The little tiny bones on the snake.
It could have been a pygmy rattler.
Yeah, you never know. But the walk through here is all good. A lot of this was drivable area at one point, so it's a very easy walk.
And pushing a stroller and perhaps even a wheelchair.
Yeah, absolutely. While we were there, we heard lots of birds. We didn't see all that many. It was a warm day. It was kind of midday.
Yeah.
And I think the birds were having more sense than what we had and were seeking shade and shelter for the day.
Right. It is refreshing to see all the trees.
It is. So our next stop was La Lomita Mission. This also is in Mission, Texas. And this is one of the old original missions. The original building did, I believe, burn down. It's no longer there, but this was the second one that was built. And it's sitting there in what is now part of a city park. You'll see the crosses out there on the horizon. But it gives you the history of the church, and the grounds are now a city park.
And there still are services held there.
Yes, every
Mass.
Every Sunday morning. Now this is as you enter at the front of the church looking towards the back, and then looking back up at the front at the altar.
They're so beautiful.
The grounds are really, really nice. This side of the park is all to do with the mission. And the other side of the park that you'll see there in the distance, there's picnic areas, shelter houses. It's just a really nice little public park.
Yeah.
Now next up, we made a stop in Hidalgo. And Hidalgo kind of piqued our interest. Really some cool buildings. This is their actual courthouse. You can see that dome as you're coming towards town.
Yeah. I love finding the vintage areas.
Mm-hmm. Part of the Chisholm Trail. It's a beautiful, beautiful building, but that's not all there is to see there by any stretch of the imagination. There's lots of older buildings. We do understand that Hidalgo does quite a Christmas light show.
Yes, I think we're going to have to come back here for that.
We're anticipating, and you've probably already seen it by now, our Christmas lights video will probably have Hidalgo on it.
That's right.
This area called the district, there's lots of little shops, eateries, adult beverage centers, all around the square. And it's an old square, the old water tower up there.
Very peaceful.
Mm-hmm. That was a little barbecue place that was right there on the square. It was really a nice step back.
Yeah.
So after our stop in Hidalgo, it was on to Santa Ana National Wildlife Refuge. This is in Donna, Texas, and all of these that you're seeing are located within about 30 miles of each other total.
Yeah.
They're all in a very short stretch.
And while similar, they're all very unique to their own.
Very different presentations, and for all being so close together, the things that we saw were very different from one to the other. This one is laid out kind of unique, that you go to the visitor center, you go just a short way down the trail, and then the trail goes off into, I believe, 5 different directions.
Yeah, it had several loops.
So we took the tower loop going out, little butterfly there, lots of butterflies. Some of the water areas were pretty well dry, but some of them still had a good bit of water to them. They did have some great areas if you wanted to picnic. But this caught our attention.
Yes, this was pretty cool.
They have 3 towers going up there. 2 of the towers are connected by a suspension bridge. The 3rd tower is just an observation tower on its own. While it's a little bit taller, the suspension bridge kind of caught my attention.
Yeah.
So we got some great pictures.
And look, it's Maggie and I down there. Can't put a stroller up those stairs.
Oh, yeah, wait till you see these stairs.
Going across the bridge would have been fun, though.
Yeah, and it was pretty stable. But this is what the stairs were like, going up on one end and coming down on the other.
It's like lighthouse stairs.
That's right. Again, a really neat area. If you're in the area, stop by, take a stroll. From there, on our way to the next spot, we went through Progreso, Texas, and you'll see this water tower, and up the thin shaft going up to the tower, it says Progresso on one side and it says Red Ants on the other. And it must be their team mascot in the area. But it's also where the Mission Pacific Line's depot was.
Missouri.
Yeah. The next one up is the Estero Llano Grande State Park. Now, again, a lot of these state parks are a little bit different in the way they're laid out. This one is kind of laid out in a big rectangle. Lots of paths that you can either take a shorter loop or you can continue on a longer loop. And again, many of them are very accessible, very easy to navigate. This was also when we had the stroller for Maggie with us.
Yeah.
So
I think we have on all of them.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. And the fees are very affordable.
Yes. Now the little area there is all covered if you want to picnic before you take off down the trails. This is one of the
boardwalk goes across where the water would be. You can see it was dry. But there were some areas that we had.
I think you were talking to somebody in one of the parks who said that they currently weren't drawing anything off irrigation because the water levels are low. But you can see, very easy to navigate. All of these paths in this area are pretty much flat. There's really no hills elevation to worry about.
This one didn't have quite the tree coverage as the one prior, but it was still, you've got a nice breeze down here right now.
That's right. Now coming across that boardwalk, we made a left and you'll start to see some water up there. This is where the water birds were hanging out. And a lot of the different varieties of the white birds, the long-legged ones, lots of the little, like almost like a sandpiper running across the sand. But there's a bright pink spoonbill out there in the middle. And
I wish I'd had my camera.
Oh, yeah, we didn't have the long lens with us, but he was beautiful.
Yeah.
Flamingo-ish pink.
Yeah.
Now you'll start to see that bridge going off there on the right. We went on across that little bridge. You can either choose to go to the left or the right, but there was a couple places over here to the right that we knew we wanted to go to. This marsh area, again, was full of water birds. And we did see a gator.
I was seeing a gator too.
Yeah, we did see a little gator floating there on the left side of the lake.
It's so pretty.
And again, this one is great for birding, but we did start to see in this one more of the water birds and that sort of thing that we weren't seeing in the other birding parks.
And I think we saw turtles here.
We might have.
Yeah, we did see a couple turtles.
Yeah, there's a turtle right there on the bank on the right.
There they are.
This is Alligator Lake. This one we didn't see an alligator in, but I'm sure that there were some.
Well, and the shape of it on the map, it actually looks like an alligator, so I don't know which it's named after.
I didn't realize there were so many gators in South Texas, but there are. It's very much like Central Florida.
Yeah.
Nice little observation area out here where you can look out over the lake. But yeah, that gate is kind of alligator shaped. The lake is kind of alligator shaped. As we went to leave, there's a Green Jay nature trail just before you get back to the parking lot. We went down through that. There's supposed to be a lot of the green jays, which are a big bird you see in this area.
We saw a lot of jays around the country, and I didn't realize jays had so many different colors.
But these are kind of a bluish dark head with a lime green body. They're
real
beautiful.
Pretty.
But none of them came out to present themselves for video, so.
They did squawk at us, though.
That's right. The next one is the Tower Theater. And the low building over on the right, this one here is now a theater, but that was their original water tower, built back in the 1920s. And then the tall tower beside it was actually built a few years later and used for water storage. So that water tower complex is now their local theater. And literally just a couple of blocks away from there, we end up at the Valley Nature Center. And we've always heard about saving the best for last. In my opinion, this place was really cool. Yeah. There's a prairie dog having an almond right there as you come through the door.
That is the fattest prairie dog I've ever seen.
He likes people coming in, and so they feed him an almond so he'll sit there and chew for you. But they have in their visitor center, they have all kinds of native animals. Those salamanders, they were something.
They were huge. A bearded dragon.
There were several different kinds of snakes. This display had a raccoon on it. It had an armadillo on it. It had a javelina. And then they did spiders and snakes inside those tanks where you could see them.
I never did see the tarantula. I wonder if it got loose.
Now here you'll see these birds hopping around up here in the tree. Those are good-sized birds.
Yeah, they are.
I would guess beak to tail maybe 1.5 feet long. There's one walking across the path. We asked the name, we were told the name, and it was a name that I don't think we could have either one pronounced. But they had kind of a grayish blue tail feather and a brown body.
It was close to Chihuahua,
Yeah,
but they're not dogs.
Yeah. This area was one of their butterfly gardens, and there are butterflies just swarming all over the tops of these plants.
Yeah, they're fun. And the plants are beautiful. There were also bees.
Yeah, you could hear the bees buzzing. Just the background sound. This was a little hummingbird area that they had set up. There were plenty of seating. There's several hummingbird feeders around. They were not out at the time of day we were there.
It was a little late.
But we were kind of surprised the amount of things that were out.
Yeah.
These cactus, they have a big white bloom that blooms at night.
Little water feature in there.
A lot of those little water features attract those birds. There goes a couple more of them across the walkway up there. Again, really nice, level, easy to walk walkways all through here. And once you get down to the bog pond, which is where we are there, the bog pond is stocked with over 90 turtles. And when you go in, you can, for 50 cents, get a nice little bag of turtle food, and you'll have about 90 odd friends for life back there. The lake has got little minnows all
thousands.
over it, and they like the turtle food too. So try to aim for the turtles, which really is not difficult to do. They're all over. And especially once you start dropping some turtle food in there, they are all over.
Here they come. There were some that were in the sun, kind of in soaking up the sun, and it was like I already ate.
There was a lot of the red-eared painteds, but there were quite a few of the soft shells with the long necks.
A couple big ones.
Yeah, there were several of those that were real good size.
And this was just a peaceful, beautiful walk too.
Yeah, this was a great stop. This guy came over just trying to see if there was any of the turtle food left.
That's right.
He was really pretty too.
He was good sized. This was called Butterfly Trail.
Yes. And on our way back out, we came across another one of these little groves of trees. And those birds are everywhere. So Cathy, we've gotten to spend a little time now in the Rio Grande Valley. What do you think of the area?
I love it. This is really, everywhere we go is so different, and it just shows how blessed we are for having such a diversity of environment. It is so beautiful. We've got these birds. I've never been anywhere we had so many birds, but this is the birding capital of the world.
That's right. And one of the things that surprised me was how similar in climate and just kind of the overall feel of things, even up to the gators, this was to Florida.
Yeah.
And when you look at it on the map, we are about even with where Miami is in the state of Florida. So no wonder, I guess.
That accounts for the sweat in November.
That's right. So with that, if you enjoyed the video today, leave us a thumbs up. We sure appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed, here at the end of the video, there'll be a big dot over in this corner. Just tap on that, ring the notification bell, and that way you'll know when every one of our videos come out.
And thank you for following us as we follow the movement